spirit, uniting their polar opposite energies, our yin and our yang. I don't know if you can see that well enough. Yin and the yang, everything in the universe has opposing yet codependent energy sources, dynamic energies, hot versus cold, dark versus light, wet versus dry, heaven versus earth, spring versus fall, summer versus winter. All of it comes together in one cohesive dynamic energy. And that's what we're balancing, is our yin and our yang. And in fact, the definition of yoga is evenness of mind. That comes from the Bhagavad Gita, which is 500 BCE, ancient scripture, defines yoga as evenness of mind. And evenness of mind is balance of mind. So our breathing balance today will be one that is used by Navy SEALs before and after combat to keep them balanced, keep them calm, collected, and balanced. And it is called box breath. And it's a count of 4 in a box. And here's how it works. You inhale for a count of 4. You retain your breath for a count of 4. You exhale for a count of 4. And then you pause or suspend your breath for a count of 4. And that's the box breathing, okay? In and out of your nose. Before we begin the box breathing though, let's sit up tall and clear our airways with a few very, very deep, deep belly breaths through your nose, inhaling and exhaling, all the way down to your belly. Relaxing your shoulders, opening your chest. And then we'll do a few rounds of box breath. I'll talk you through it. All three in and out of your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Now bring your breathing back to normal, taking several deep, deep, long breaths. Now there are very many variations to this box breath. You can extend the retention part, you can extend the inhalation part, you can extend the exhalation part. Normally you would want to extend the inhalation if you want a burst of energy. So your inhalation would be longer than the rest. Or if you want a more calming effect, more sedative effect, you would be extending your exhalation to be longer than the other parts of the breath. Box breathing, very good thing to remember. So balancing out our spine, take a deep breath in, take your fingers, lace them together and bring your palms away from your body, down. And then inhale as you bring your palms in front of you, all the way up to the ceiling, and then push up, just open your shoulders and your chest. One more breath here. Exhale, unlace your fingers and let your right palm float down. Keep your left palm facing up as you lean over, opening up the left side of your body. This is your male side. This is your yang, your bright, fiery, energetic side. And then reach up, inhale, exhale, back down. Relace your fingers. Now take them and thread them so that the opposite thumb is on top and the opposite pinky's on the bottom. It's going to feel really strange. And then push your palms away from you. Inhale as you push them forward, all the way up. Exhale as you unlace, bringing the left hand down, right arm beside the ear, palm facing up. So the reason we unlace and relace our fingers the non-habitual way is for balance, right? We always have a habit of sitting one way and holding our hands one way. This way we force ourselves to be balanced. We're now opening our female side of the body, the dark, calm, cool side of the body. Inhale, back up. Exhale, down. Inhale, open arms in a T. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hand comes on the right thigh, right hand behind. Several deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Let's switch the cross of our legs so that we get balanced that way. And then inhale, open arms in a T. Exhale, twist left. Right hand comes on the outside of the thigh. Left hand parks behind. Couple of more deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, slowly return to center. Take your fingertips and place them on top of your shoulders with your elbows up to shoulder height. So we have angel wings here. We're opening up our shoulders. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, bring your elbows forward together. And as you inhale, bring them back apart. This time, as you exhale, bring your elbows up, the backs of your hands toward each other. They're not necessarily going to touch behind your head, but they're going to go toward each other, and then come back to center. Inhale, exhale forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, up. Inhale, open. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, up. Inhale, open. One more. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, up. Inhale, open, and return your arms back to your sides. And then just make some shoulder rolls one way and then go the other way to loosen all that. Your breath is a big balancing point for your yoga poses. That's why I like to tell you when to inhale and when to exhale, because there is a science to it. The exhalation is a way of calming. Please come to your table position, patting your knees accordingly. And then with a flat back inhale, exhale as you push into your cat back. So this is where you're flexing your spine, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, and pushing your spine up toward the ceiling. Push the mat away with your hands, feel your shoulders separate. And then through your nose, inhale very, very slowly, making the breath last as you drop your belly down and bring the crown of your head forward, the tailbone back. You now have a banana back, extending your spine very long. Exhale very, very slowly through your nose, making it last as you come back into a cat, feeling the flexion of your spine. Inhale very, very slowly through your nose, making your breath last as you come into your cow, Bitalasana, extending the spine long. And then return to a neutral back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your right arm and twist open to the right. Couple of deep breaths. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring your right arm down, but thread it underneath of your left arm. And then bring your right shoulder down to the mat and maybe the side of your head down to the mat, and hold yourself up with your left hand, if you like, to stretch open the shoulder. And then push into your left hand so you can unthread your right arm back into the table. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right knee up toward your chest. Tuck your chin. Nose goes to the knee. Inhale, kick your right leg straight back behind you, and then level your hips. Take a couple of breaths here, and then slowly raise your left arm into our balancing table. This is core work right here. Couple deep, big breaths. And then the hand comes down, and then the knee comes back in. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, go into your cat back again, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Inhale very slowly through your nose, coming into your extended spine, your cow. And then exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale. Exhale, lift your left arm as you twist open to the left. One more breath here. Exhale, bring your hand down and thread it underneath your right arm, coming all the way down onto your shoulder, bringing your head down to the mat. So this is a twist as well as a shoulder stretch. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, bring your arm back to your table position. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left knee comes toward your chest. Tuck the chin, bring the nose to the knee. Slowly inhale as you kick your leg back, level the hips, find your focal point, and then lift your right arm gracefully into a balancing table on this side, engaging your core muscles, taking deep breaths. One more breath. And then bring your hand down, bring your knee back in, and then come onto your bellies into Sphinx. So in Sphinx, your shoulders, your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Your forearms are shoulder width apart, palms facing down. Push your pelvis into the mat and your upper thighs into the mat, and rotate your thighs in toward each other slightly so you feel an opening in your lower back. So pushing down on your thighs, rotating them inward. Feel the opening in your lower back, and then pull the sticky mat towards you so you bring your chest forward. And then think about extending your neck like a turtle coming out of a shell. Your shoulders are down from your ears. This is a mild but very effective back bend. Nice, long, deep breaths, chest open. Keep pulling the mat towards you. Keep pushing the upper thighs into the mat. Okay, from here, lower your chest down and take your hands wide on your mat. You can even take them outside of your mat if you like. And then we're going to come into a wide cobra. So you want your hands still lined up in line with your shoulders. And then push into that pelvis, push into your thighs, push into the tops of your feet if you can, and then push into your hands to come up to a wide cobra. And when you're up here, make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. Think about elongating the neck. Keep pushing your thighs into the mat. Your pelvis stays on the mat here. Breathe. And then come slowly down. Now move your hands in so that they're right underneath your shoulders, right beside your chest. Hug your elbows in toward your sides. Don't let them splay out like that. Elbows into the sides. And now we're going to come into Cobra again, keeping our elbows tucked, pointing behind us. Push into your pelvis and push into the tops of your feet if you can, and then roll up into your Cobra. Shoulders down from your ears, elbows hugging your sides. Keep rotating your inner thighs inward toward each other. And breathe. One more breath. Good. And then come all the way down. Push back to table for a moment. And we're going to come into upward facing dog. The difference between upward dog and cobra is that with cobra, your pelvis is on the mat. In upward dog, your pelvis is not on the mat. So you're going to shift your chest forward. You can keep your knees down. And then your arms are straight in upward facing dog. Push your shoulders away from your ears. Now, optional, you can untuck your toes and lift your knees off the mat to the full expression of upward facing dog. But it's just as good if you keep your knees down, bring your chest forward, shoulders away from your ears, breathe. And if your knees are up, bring them back down. Come back to table. Sit back towards your heels very briefly. And then come back to table and come back onto your belly and return to your Sphinx. Elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms shoulder width apart, parallel with each other, palms down, fingers wide. Push your pelvis into the mat, engage your thigh muscles, roll your thighs inward slightly. Pull the mat towards you, make your neck long, Sphinx pose. Okay, tuck your toes, take a deep breath, and we're going to push into a forearm plank as you exhale. Push your body up into the forearm plank and think about a long line of energy from the crown of your head to your heels as you breathe and engage all your abdominal muscles. Try to keep your head in line with the spine. Breathe. And then slowly come back. Bring your pelvis back down. Return to Sphinx. Sphinx is the resting pose, which is an active resting pose. And then we'll do that again. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, tuck the toes, come into your forearm plank, pushing your weight evenly distributed in your forearms, engaging your abdominal muscles, keeping your head in line with the spine. Breathe. One more breath. And then come back down, pause in Sphinx. Uncurl the toes, pull your chest forward. All right, so now we're going to do a forearm side plank. And I'm going to give you a choice here. You don't have to stack your feet. You can keep your feet wide. I'll show you what I mean. You can, when you come into your forearm side plank, you can keep your feet wide, one in front of each other, or you can stack your feet on top of each other, okay? So to do this, from Sphinx, rotate your right arm so that it's parallel to the front of your mat. And then your shoulder is still over the elbow. And then you're going to either separate your feet and lift up your hips or stack your feet on top of each other. And then your left arm comes up. Either way, you want to shift your hips and your rib cage up toward the ceiling and breathe. This is very much core strengthening. One more breath, and then slowly roll back down. And then fold your arms, rest for a moment in crocodile pose. Okay, that's enough of a break. Back to Sphinx. Inhale, exhale, come into forearm plank. Breathe. Bring your pelvis back down. Return to Sphinx. Inhale, tuck toes, exhale, forearm plank. One line of energy, crown of the head to your heels. And then the pelvis comes back down. Now we'll do the other side, forearm side plank, rotating your left arm so it's parallel to the front end of your mat. And then we're going to roll onto our hip and raise our hip up. Either stack your feet or one can go in front of each other. The right arm comes up and you're lifting your hips and your rib cage up to the ceiling. And And slowly roll back down. And return to crocodile pose, resting your head on your arms for a brief moment before we carry on. Okay, please push back to table. From here, tuck your toes and lift your hips up to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Savasana. Pause, couple of breaths, squeeze your forearms toward each other. Keep the knees bent so your spine can be nice and long. Roll your shoulders out. And then bend your knees. Walk up to your hands. Slowly rise up. Inhale. Exhale. Arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And Tadasana, the ultimate balance. Balancing every part of your body, equal weight in both sides of your body. Chest forward. Feet parallel to each other, belly in, shoulders down, thighs rolling in slightly. Inhale, bring your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Take your right hand and grab your left wrist. Your left palm is still facing down, and we're going to lean over to the right. So your right hand is pulling your left arm beside your ear as you're crescenting to the right. So the left side of your body is your female side. You're opening up your female side. I'm mirroring you, so it's really my right side I'm opening. And then come back to center, inhale, exhale, arms in a T, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms up. This time, as you exhale, flip your palms up, your left palm up, grab your wrist with your right hand, keep your left palm facing up, and we're going to crescent again to the right. And this time, move your left shoulder back a little bit so that you have a tiny back bend as you look up. One more deep breath, and then release your hand, exhale, come down, arms come down, Anjali Mudra. Inhale up, Urdhva Hastasana. This time we're going to take our left hand, grab our right wrist, palm facing down, and then we'll lean over, crescenting to the left. And with your palm in this direction, your right shoulder comes forward slightly. And then release, inhale, exhale, Anjali Mudra. And then inhale up. This time, flip your right palm up. Left hand takes the right wrist, palm facing up, and we're going to lean over to the left. And with your hand in this position, your right shoulder comes back in a tiny back bend as you look up. Inhale. Exhale, release. Arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And Tadasana. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, come into your chair. Inhale. Exhale, place your hands on your thighs, straighten your leg, extend your spine. So you have a flat back now, crown of your head forward, tailbone back, legs are straight but not locked. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, bring your hands all the way down to the mat, one on either side of your feet. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot back to a high lunge. So you have one hand on either side of the front foot. Bring your right knee down, and then get light in your fingertips and come up to Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. And now here we're going to grab opposite elbows with our hands. We want the right arm on top of the left. So when you're grabbing your elbows with opposite hands, your right arm is on top. Move your elbows away from your head, chest open, lean back. One more breath. And then release the elbows, bring your hands down. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knees. Step your left foot back to plank. Full plank, line of energy, crown of the head to your heels, engaging all the core muscles here. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, we're going to move into upward facing dog. So you can put your knees down and bring your chest forward between your hands, or you can lift your knees up, uncurl the toes, upward facing dog. Shoulders down from the ears, chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, curl your toes under, come to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg goes up in the air behind you. Exhale, swing the right foot up between your hands. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot up. And then slowly rise up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Tailbone down. Legs parallel to each other. Nice loose neck. Inhale. Exhale, hands on thighs. Straighten the legs. Flatten the back. Extend the spine long. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Forward fold all the way down. One hand on either side of the feet. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps back to a high lunge. Bring your left knee down, patting it accordingly. And then raise your arms up to Vashisthasana. Or sorry, not Vashisthasana, Anjaneyasana. And now we're going to hug our elbows. This time your left arm comes on top of your right arm. And then push your elbows behind, push your chest forward, and push your shoulders down away from your ears. One more deep breath. And release your elbows, hands come down. Lift your left knee. Put your right foot back to full plank. Inhale. As you exhale, come into your upward facing dog with knees down or up, chest forward, neck long, shoulders away from the ears. And take a deep breath. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg kicks up behind you. Exhale, swing it up between your hands or pick it up and move it there. Inhale, exhale, step up with your right foot. Slowly come up. Inhale, exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And then Tadasana. Reset the spine in Tadasana. Chest forward, shoulders down. Head on top of the shoulders. Thighs rolling in. Okay, if you have blocks, I highly recommend you using them for this next pose because you'll get a much better stretch. But it is possible to use them, to do this without blocks, because before Iyengar brought yoga to the West, we didn't use blocks in yoga. But Easterners are much more flexible than Westerners. All right, have your blocks handy. We're going to step back with our right foot, not very far, and you're going to be on railroad tracks. So your right foot is going to angle out slightly, but your feet are hip width distance apart. And then we're going to come from, with legs straight, we're going to come from our hip crease, flat back forward, and then the hands can rest on the blocks here. Blocks can be on any height, and don't think of blocks as crutches. Think of using them as enhancements to your postures. This will enable you to get a much deeper stretch by taking your right hip forward, left hip back, so that your pelvis from behind will be even. And then breathe. And this is a very intense stretch to the hamstrings. As you relax here, you can lower your blocks if you want. Every time you exhale, get a little deeper in the pose. So you can't stretch tense muscles. You have to relax in order to stretch. And to relax your muscles, doing big exhalations really does that for you. Exhaling helps relax the muscles. So of course you have to inhale in order to exhale. But every time you exhale, think about getting a little bit deeper. Keep that pelvis square, because the tendency is to be able to hock up one hip to avoid the stretch. Okay, bend the front knee, walk your blocks up so that they're about, maybe 10 inches in front of your body. And then you're going to shift the weight onto the left foot and lift your right leg behind you into a standing split. So in a standing split, the crown of your head is facing the floor. So this is different from a warrior 3. And your hip is slightly open and your leg is as high up behind you as you can get it. Okay, from here, slowly bring your foot into your tree position as you come up. I know that's the hard part, but you can do it. And release. Check all that out. And we'll do it again. So blocks start out close to your body so you can reach them. Step the left foot back on railroad tracks. Bring your hips forward. Come from the hip crease. So your left foot is at a slight angle. Your feet are hip width distance apart, coming with a flat back from your hip crease. Come on down with straight legs onto your blocks. Start off high so you can allow your muscles to relax first. Bring your right hip back, your left hip forward so that you're leveling your sacrum. Don't allow your knees to lock. And then take your very deep power breaths. Every time you exhale, just relax a little deeper. If you feel that your hamstrings are relaxed enough, you can lower your blocks. You know how much to do to your own body. But keep the sacrum level because your body tends to want to avoid intensity stretches by cocking up a hip. Okay, now we're going to walk the blocks up about 8 to 10 inches forward. Lift your left leg up in the air behind you into a standing split. You move the blocks wherever you need to get balanced here. So your nose is coming toward your knee, crown of your head is coming down, facing the mat. Left leg up behind you as high as you can get it. And now, very slowly, carefully, you're going to bring your left leg into tree as you come up, standing. I know it's not easy, but you can do it. However you want to express your tree, you can separate your hands or not. Vrikshasana. And then release. Shake everything out. Okay, so I want to do some stuff on the long side edge of the mat. So if you want to take a moment to turn your mat so you can see better. And then when you're ready, just come on down to your mat in a table position. So your table is facing the long side of your mat. Okay, from here, kick your right leg out to the side so that it's perpendicular to your body. And then you're going to walk your hands to the left and line up your left hand with your knee. So your knee, hand, and foot are lined up in a line. And then your right arm comes up, starting at 12 o'clock. And we're going to rotate our shoulder. Inhale, exhale, bring your arm forward, down, back, and up. Inhale, forward, down, exhale, back, and up. Inhale, forward, down, exhale, back, and up. One more time, forward, down, back, and up. If your shoulder is not bothering you, bring it beside your ear and stretch your fingertips as far as you can. Okay, bring your arm back to 12 o'clock. Push into the left hand, come up with your palms together above your head, what I call a starting gate. Rotate your right foot outward, so it's pointing away from you. And then take your right hand and slide it down your right leg as your left arm comes beside your ear. This is called Padidasana gate pose. Okay, come back up to your starting gate. Bring your hands down in front of you. Now we're going to pivot on our left knee, walk our hands to the right, and then straddle your right leg with your hands. This is half of a split, Ardha Hanuman. So we did a standing split. This is half of a split, kneeling. And level your hips here, bring your chest down towards your leg, keep your foot flexed, but don't lock the knee. Okay, now we're going to bend the right knee as we put our foot down onto the mat, shift our weight forward to a low lunge. Then tuck the left toes, lift the left knee off the mat so that you're in a high lunge. And then you're going to turn the left heel back to the long edge of your mat and come up standing into your warrior two. So in warrior two, you're on a balance beam. We're balancing on one line. Our heel is lined up with the arch. Your chest is forward. Think about rotating your front thigh outward so that knee stabilizes over the ankle. My mat is slipping here a little bit. Chest stays toward me, but turn your head to look over the middle finger of your right hand. Keep your arms parallel to the mat. Flip your palms up, bring your shoulders down your back. Bring your right hand over your head. Bring your left hand underneath your belly, and then look over your left shoulder. And then bring your arms back to warrior two. Pivot both feet forward, come into your five-pointed star. Then from your hip crease, bring your hands down to your mat. Bend your left knee, walk your hands over to the left, and then pivot onto your foot so that you're now into your high lunge, one hand on either side of the left foot. And then take your left foot, step back to downward facing dog. Bring your knees down. Sit back to child pose briefly. Push up the table. Turn your table so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. Keep your left leg out to the side. Walk your hands to the right. Line up your right hand with your knee, which is lined up with your left leg, and then we'll bring our arm up to 12 o'clock. And we'll do the shoulder rotation on this side. Inhale as you bring your arm forward and down. Exhale as it comes up. Inhale, reach forward, down. Exhale up. Inhale, forward, down. Exhale up. Once again, inhale forward, down. Exhale up. And then bring the arm beside your ear. If your shoulder allows it, push the fingertips way over. Push into the left foot so you have one long line of energy, fingertip to the outside edge of your left foot. And then bring your arm back to 12 o'clock. Push into your right hand, come up to your starting gate. And then you're going to pivot your left toes away from you. Take your left hand and slide it down your leg. And bring your right arm beside your ear into the gate pose on this side, Parigasana. Make sure you keep your right shoulder back. Come back into your starting gate. Bring your hands down. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the left as we pivot on our right knee. Your left leg is straight, and we're coming into half of a split on this side. So your chest is coming down toward your thigh. Your leg is extended but not locked. and relax here. Every time you exhale, come a little deeper. So your toes are pointed up in this, by the way. Okay, now we're going to walk our hands forward as we bend the front knee. So we're into our low lunge. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, plant the right heel, and slowly rise up into warrior two on this side. So readjust your feet so that you're on a balance beam. Make sure your heel's lined up with your back arch. Your back foot is slightly angled forward. Your front knee is, like Matt keeps on moving on me, but the front knee is over the ankle. Chest forward, but you turn your head to look over the middle finger. And think about rolling that left thigh outward. Weight into the back foot. Make sure the outside edge of the back foot has weight. Flip the palms up. Move your shoulder blades down further onto your back. Left hand comes over the head. Right arm comes underneath your belly. And then you look over your right shoulder. Return your arms to warrior two. Straighten the legs, pivot your feet forward, five-pointed star. Come forward from your hip crease, flat back, hands come all the way down. You're going to bend now the right knee, walk your hands to the right, and then pivot, pivot, pivot so that you can come into a high lunge. From here, you can take your right foot, step back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath and bring your knees down to the mat and sit back to your heels to child pose. And then please slowly push up. And we're going to come seated up on something if you have it, facing the long edge of your mat. And then we're going to come into a V-sit position. And the reason you want to be able to sit up on something is so that you can tilt your pelvis forward. Now, if you're flexible enough to be able to do that without sitting up on anything, then that's great. But make sure that you can have a lumbar curve in your back here. Your feet are pointed up and your knees are pointed up. The tendency here also is to let your legs roll out like this. You want to keep the knees and the feet up and the feet flexed. And then bring your hands in front of you and then slowly walk your hands forward. Doesn't have to come very forward, just so that you can feel a lengthening of your spine. Make sure your knees stay up and your feet stay up. And the mat you come down totally depends on your own flexibility. Don't overdo it and don't collapse your back in order to do it. Keeping the head in line with the spine. Push up, back to upright. Now we're going to keep our legs the way they are, but we're going to turn our torso so that it's facing over the right leg. And then one hand goes on either side of that leg as we come forward with our chest. So we're twisting as we're coming forward. And again, you don't have to come very far down to feel this. And then come back up to center. Now we're going to turn our body slightly to the left, but we're not going to do what you think we're going to do. We're going to do something different. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to slide it in front of our right leg. Our left arm is going to come up, and then we're going to allow our body to reach for the right foot. So take your left hand as if you were going to reach for your right foot. Keep that shoulder up. Don't let the shoulder come forward just like we did a minute ago. You want the shoulder up this time. And then maybe somewhere around there you can get your foot, maybe not. But just keep the shoulder up and the chest open. And look up underneath your arm. And then slowly rise up, back to center. Now turn your body to the left, and we're going to do what you thought we were going to do a minute ago. Come on down the left leg. This time our chest is facing downward. Our head is coming toward our leg. Keep the feet flexed, pointing up. And then use your hands as leverage to twist the body as you come down. If you want to grab your foot, grab your foot. Both hands or one hand. Or no hands. And slowly back to center. Turn your body slightly to the right. Now this time your left hand slides on the inside of that leg as your right arm comes up and over as if you were going to touch your left toes. Make sure your knee doesn't lock up here. And wherever you are, keep your shoulder up, chest open. Now the very extreme expression of this pose is when you put the back of your head on your leg. And I've only seen that done in pictures. I haven't actually met anybody in person that could do that. And very slowly come back up. Take your hands underneath your knees so that you can very slowly and gently walk your feet in. Bring your feet together. And bring the soles of your feet together. And using your hands on your shins, bring the heels towards your groin area and then pull on your ankles or your shins so that you can bring your back nice and long. Retilt your pelvis forward, reset the spine, bring the shoulders down from the ears, and relax your neck. Now release, bring your knees together. And then hug the knees, bring your forehead towards your knees, tuck the tailbone under, make your back into a C shape. And then please slowly come on to your backs with bent knees. And then let's hug our knees into the chest one more time. And then get into your favorite Shavasana. And as you focus on your breath and relax your mind and body, I'll recite a poem by Mary Oliver. It's a pretty cute one. As you know, her poems are full of imagery, and imagery helps our minds relax. This poem is entitled Porcupine. Where the porcupine is, I don't know, but I hope it's high up on some pine bough in some thick tree, maybe on the other side of the swamp. The dogs have come running back, one of them with a single quill in his moist nose. He's laughing, not knowing what he has almost done to himself. For years, I have wanted to see that slow rambler, that thorn bush. I think what love does to us is a Gordian knot. It's that complicated. I hug the dogs and their good luck and put on their leashes. So dazzling she must be, a plump, dark lady wearing a gown of nails, white teeth tearing skin from the thick tree. Please enjoy a few moments of inner bliss. Please bring your awareness back to your breath. Deepen your breathing as you gently wake up your body, making small movements. And please bend your knees and roll on to your right side in a fetal position to seal the practice. And in doing so, you are sealing off the masculine side of your body, hot, bright, fiery. And you are exposing the feminine side of your body, cool, dark, calm. And that calmness will carry you for the rest of your day. Please very slowly, keeping a quiet mind, push up to seated. And I shall do the closing chant. If you care to join me, please do. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to the Cat Rock Yoga class and to the inner teacher. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Knuckles to my forehead honors God. Knuckles to my chin honors you. Knuckles to my heart honors myself. Namaste. Jai Yogis. Thank you for being here.
Namaste, everybody. That was
Namaste.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Catherine.
You're welcome, Don.